Hello YouTube, Ashveil is finally here, which means it is time to take my Feixiao off the bench and put her back in play. Now, why do I say bench? Well, friends of the channel know that for a long time, Feixiao was my second main while I built up my vertical Firefly team. She did well running a very budget team with March and Herta as sub-DPS, but eventually power creep really caught up with her. Half a year ago, I did an update video for her where I finally got to upgrade her team by pulling for her an E2S1 Dan Hang. But I haven't done any videos with her since then, and that's because despite the Dan Hang upgrade, she's basically been benched since that video. Because the dot team that I pulled in 3.5 as my third team for Anomaly Arbitration has largely replaced her, and even stole her Robin and Dan from her. The dot team's damage was just higher and more flexible, and I was having a hard time finding stages to use Feixiao on. I started to doubt her place in the meta enough to pull on Charidra in 4.0, hoping to maybe make Archer my third team in addition to Firefly and Dot, but the little Imperator did not come home, instead giving me a Himiko, which forced me to abandon the Archer plan, and after saving up a bit more, use the pity to give Feixiao one more chance at life by pulling Ashveil. Ashveil is of course a big upgrade over Hunt March. He brings a buff to team follow-ups, as well as defense shred, which synergizes well with Feixiao's own light cone, which already has a lot of shred on it, but also increases the damage that Robin and Dan Hang do, which is not negligible. I have been farming the dot set for the dot team, so I already had Grand Duke pieces to assemble into a set for Ashveil, and I stole a sphere from Mose. Because most of Ashveil's damage comes from his ultimate, I crafted for him a double crit energy rope. It rolled poorly initially, so I tried again, and it actually rolled pretty well. For the light cone, we'll be using the free-to-play Herta cone. Let's see how good Feixiao is now, starting with Memory of Chaos. So Firefly 0 cycles on the first side. Let's see if we can do the same with this Feixiao on side 2. Robin's skills. Now here if I skill I can get my dragon, but the Ray is going to double attack us. I think we're going to get the energy for it anyway. So let's just do a basic here to get an extra attack out. Yeah, so we got our ults off. Now we want to get the Ashveil ult, so I'm going to do Robin ult and then Dan Hang ult right afterwards. This is going to get us the Ashveil ult, which allows us to reposition the baits. Now we whittle down the toughness. And try to kill this with Feixiao now. Before it spawns its mini-me's, which is super annoying because it really slows down the progress. If you're playing a team that doesn't have a Robin, maybe it's better to attack the demon first, but in general I found the Ray to be the better target for focus firing early at the start. Okay, get a big attack off. And now we're just going to build up some resources. So the question is, can we get away with not using a Feixiao ult here? I'm kind of skeptical. But let's give it a try. This is going to be a break. Perfect. Okay. So now we can round start, just ult. And we get the Ashveil ult. Comes back around really fast with the energy rope. It's great. Love it. And so here, you know, we are a single target team. We're going to mostly just focus down Xandar because we're able to. The AoE will be mostly from Dan Hang's dragons. Okay, dragon goes out, so now I can use a second ult to pull the dragon ahead. And that pulls her back into the Robin ult for an extra turn. Who's gonna get chosen? Okay, so here we do need to get either Ashveil or Feixiao chosen. If Robin and Dan Hang are the only ones that get chosen, it's sort of unplayable. But we do have one of our DPS get chosen, so this is fine. Yeah, Feixiao still gets her turn off. I'm just gonna use my ult here because once Robin re-ults, I don't want Feixiao to get overcapped, which is very possible. And with Ashveil, it's very easy getting enough triggers for her to double ult inside a Robin ult now for her 3 turns. So we basic here. Unfortunately, I don't think Dan is going to be able to get this energy on. Yeah, Ashveil needed 2 hits. That's fine. Just gonna do it here. She follows up. Yeah, see, she would have gotten overcapped before this ult if I hadn't used it previously. Okay, skill. And, you know, we're not able to quite zero cycle it. If she was E2, then yeah, she definitely would be doing it. Okay, lots of AoE means lots of energy, but not quite enough for an ult. That's unfortunate. Is he going to give it to us? No, he just misses him. Okay. Alright, we still get it though. Okay, and now Feixiao. Dragon, put the dragon out. Dragon's out. We do our ultimate. Dragon went out recently, so we could probably just ult with Dan. As soon as it's available. Yeah, this is fine. Ult, not quite. Thank you for the energy, sir. Okay, so now Feixiao got selected. This is just easy mode at this point. In fact, I'll just waste some charge, action advance rather here, to... but this is beatable even if Feixiao doesn't get selected, which is nice. It reduces the RNG of this fight. Now let's try Pure Fiction. This is the new Pure Fiction that just released. It does have a follow-up focused whimsicality to help this team out. Here, Dan got hit. That means he gets his ult right away with a basics. I think we're going to do that. And we will use the ult to break the protected Roomba. And we will use Feixiao to ult it. Because I want to eagle pull her ahead of the TVs that just spawned. Having them do their angry energy debuff would be a disaster. So here we got our Ashveil ult, which should get us a Robin ult. Yeah, exactly. And one thing you will notice is that this team is actually pretty decent at clearing the pure fiction first wave now, because of all the AoE that Ashveil's ult and and Dan Hang's dragon do. They go through this stage pretty quickly now, which means that they have a better chance of getting, 30-35k, because getting through the first 2 stages quickly helps out in that regard. Even when they're not always going to be able to get to 40k. Okay. Get TV dies. Perfect. So this gets us into the next wave. We don't quite have Ashveil ult. We get it now. So in the second wave, I found the best strategy to be generally to just go straight at the elite. In the end, this is a single target team. So just focusing firing this elite is going to be better than trying to jump around between targets, because that's going to waste a lot of energy and damage. Okay. See, it's already at half. It goes by quickly with a decent amount of investment. If you're less invested, maybe worthwhile to go after the enemies because they give energy and Ashveil stacks. Okay, so here we get our dragon. We can dragon now. Ashveil does go before Feixiao, and I kind of want him to take this turn so that he reduces this toughness bar to 0, so that Feixiao's ult does a little bit more damage. Okay, so those attacks gave us our ults. Whimsicality's about to turn off. Do I use the Feixiao ult here? No, I think I just want to use this turn from Feixiao to get our perfect. Yeah, I just want to use those attacks from Feixiao to get our new Whimsicality back. Okay, so this wave is super annoying because the Roomba's shield, as we've seen before, which is bad for Ashveil and Feixiao. But these guys are extra vulnerable to lightning, but they're extra resistant to wind. So target selection is kind of frustrating at this point. Because if the Ashveil debuff goes on the wrong target, sometimes Feixiao's damage just gets hosed and she doesn't really get to contribute. So here we are going to... yeah, we're just going to use our skill here. Because this should kill it. Do we get a new TV? Okay, we got a new TV. I guess we'll use it here. Now we don't want to waste too much Ashveil energy, so we will set the target here, but we will ult on the other television. Because the Ashveil debuff actually has a high tendency to go on the TV, on the Roombas. I don't know why. Feixiao's ahead of us, so we're actually going to ult here. Okay. TV got debuffed, which is nice, right in time. Oh no, it's gonna get shielded. Oh no, we're ahead of it, okay. Okay, new TV is out. I want to make sure this thing doesn't ever get shielded. So we are wasting Ashveil energy here by not ulting on the marked targets always, but in general I find this to be better than the alternative of wasting all that ult damage. For the skill, I don't really care as much, it's a lot less. Okay. There's a TV out. Yeah, so skill, I'm okay with doing this on here. Ashveil does a decent job killing this himself since they are vulnerable to him. Okay, TV got marked. Perfect. Would they go at the same time? So I guess it doesn't matter which one I kill. Kill the TV. Get our Robin ult back. Can we get away here with a basic? I kind of don't want to risk it. I think I don't have it with a basic, so I'm just gonna skill here and use it right away. Okay, so Feixiao gets this kill. Dragon's pretty close, so we're not gonna ult right away. And actually, I'm gonna move the target over. So the dragon's gonna go off. Second dragon. Feixiao's gonna get her ult here. See what I mean? Like, it really likes to target these lower health Roombas. Which was why we have to be very proactive about killing them before they shield, otherwise they're going to start soaking up damage. So we lose our Whimsicality. We have about a cycle left, so let's try to rebuild it. I want Dragon to break that, at least, so I'm just going to build some energy for Ashveil here. Okay, Ashveil's going to take his turn. Dragon's right around the corner, so we're just gonna wait here. Can we get Feixiao back into the ult? I think we might be able to. Okay. Dragon's out. Okay, so yeah, okay, so we're back inside the cycle. Great. Inside the Robin ult. So we get an extra turn here. Great. So low value skill here, but it builds everything up. And once again, we're in a situation where I'm not actually sure if we get... I think we don't, because we don't have any... I'm just gonna be careful and use my skill again. 35,000, so we've definitely done our job in terms of you know, getting at least 30k so that we get full points in pure fiction. We just have to kill a couple of these enemies. There's a Roomba. Oh, let's get it. No. Okay, a new one spawned. Great. Okay, so she's back inside the cycle. We have to kill like 4 enemies, something like that. Ashveil has his ults. I wonder if we can get him a second ult. It's gonna be hard. No, at least like without help from the rest of the enemies hitting him, it's gonna be tough getting him an extra ult. Although Sam is definitely gonna do his best to help us here. Alright, so we focus on these. Okay, we did get an extra ult. Great. So this is good. This is good. So we get this kind of sucks actually, because I think we have to use it on this, which is not a great target. Like I'd rather have this on this maybe, but maybe this is okay. Okay. Double skill. Oh, dragon's actually right around the corner. Okay, so I think I can actually get away with this. 40k. Okay, let's do Apocalyptic Shadow. Alright, so things look pretty good so far, but what about bosses and enemies that don't favor Feixiao? Like this Lance of Fury that in AS kind of requires a decent amount of AoE to deal with efficiently. Here we skill with Dan to increase his armor damage to 2. He's going to be a primary AoE dealer of top armor damage. And now we ult with Feixiao. This will put her through the Eagle set ahead of the boss, which will allow us to break the armor, which does a whole bunch of toughness damage, as well as getting our Robin her ult. Fortunately, Ashveil does thunder damage, otherwise this boss would be basically impossible. And here we don't skill because I need a skill point for Dan Hang. He's going to be skilling a lot, so we just basic here. And now we bring up our armor damage to 3 on him. And Feixiao takes her turn. So now we have to wait for the Lance of Fury to take its turn. It's going to resummon the lances, and it's going to restore its armor. So now that the armor is restored, we do the toughness damage on it, or the armor damage on it. Okay. Feixiao is going to now break his armor, which will knock him back a bit. Dan is going to get his ult here. And I think we just focus on getting these lances broken. This is going to give us our Ashveil ult. Ashveil can ult right away. So now that they're broken, we're focusing on damaging them now. And now Feixiao needs to take an ult. Don't necessarily want that ult to go onto the lance itself though. So here, because I don't want to trigger that follow-up just yet. So here we're going to skill, kill it. Okay. So now that Feixiao's here, we can skill this, and killing this is going to get us a whole new set of turns and get us back into the cycle before Robin. Now my goal here is going to be to get this boss killed before Dan's turn, if possible. Perfect. Okay. So now we've Ashveil ult. Dragon comes out, and now we Feixiao ult. And this should be enough. It is. Great. So now the goal of getting this done before Dan's turn was so that he can start skilling again for his armor break. Okay. We move our target here so the follow-ups go on the correct target. Can we pull everybody ahead in time? Is it worth just ulting here? It might be worth it just to ult here. Probably not. Let's do it. Okay, start working on these lances. Robin comes out, so Feixiao and the rest of the team are pretty far away. So we're just gonna ult here. Gonna skill. break this. Alt here to pull the dragon closer. Okay, so that kills another lance. This is gonna kill a third lance. And here we just keep skilling. We always skill with Dan. Now this is gonna break the lance, which will increase the damage on it. I think we do have to Feixiao ult it, otherwise it's gonna get restored. And I just want to get this toughness damage out of the way. Okay, so we break the lance, it does toughness damage. Let's get... we don't ult right away, we wait for these lances to get summoned. Lances get summoned. And now ult comes out, and then we ult again. But the one thing is, we don't focus the lances now. Now that we have a whole bunch of... toughness, or armor damage on our units, we're going to start focusing the boss now. Just want to make sure we get him to 0 armor quickly. Okay, so Feixiao's back in the ult. And now we ult right away. And he does not really need to. He's not going to get much benefit from skilling us, so now just basic. Now we skill. And this should break the lance now, giving us a whole new round of turns. Perfect. But now that we've advanced, we do want to start focusing on the lances. Doing this attack is not going to matter much, I think. Maybe we could actually get an extra ult this way. Okay, so now we switch the bait to the lances. This should probably be a kill. If it's not, it'll be close. Okay. And now we start hitting the boss. Okay. Dragon comes out. Pull up another dragon. Get our Ashveil ults. And now we get our Feixiao ult, and that's it. 1663 is okay, but you have to understand that I have an E2 Dan. And without an E2 Dan, breaking those lances becomes a lot worse, because you don't have as many dragons coming out as reliably. But, you know, 1663 is okay. It's not great. But let's be honest, the Stellar Jade content is for beginners. This is a 2-year-old account, and I've had Feixiao for almost that long as well. I don't need her clearing Stellar Jade, I need her getting 3 stars in Anomaly Arbitration at this point in this account's life cycle. The first knight is bulky AoE waves. She just can't do it, this isn't pure fiction. The second knight is Pollux, which is also bad for her. So, she has to do well on Lygus. Let's see how it goes. Alright, so the same boss as before, but worse, because more HP and a very annoying action delay that hurts this team a lot. Can Feixiao do it? It's the job I need her to do. So let's see. If I break this armor, that will give me enough energy for an ult. But one thing it does is it does kill an enemy, which makes one of these axe bros advance. So I don't want it acting and action delaying us. So I'm going to ult here to stop it from doing that. And unfortunately, I do have to use this Ashveil ult to push the wave along to get the Robin ult, but it's going to waste a whole bunch of damage because it's not buffed. But at least we can get this ult right away. And with the action delay, every piece of AV is valuable. Okay, this I want going to energy users. Yeah, so unfortunately the mark went there. I think instead I want to kill this to not get action delayed into the Stone Age. But in a perfect world, Ashveil would get hurt here. We don't live in a perfect world? I guess we do live in a perfect world. Alright. What turn order do I do this in? I guess let's do this. Move the mark over. Yeah, that's too bad. Okay. I guess this ult is kind of premature, but I want to make sure that this axe bird does not advance into us. I don't want Ashveil getting action delayed. Okay. Yeah, just basic here. Okay, so... oh, he gets action delayed, but it's not so bad. How do we advance here? I guess I have to use his ult here. Okay. Now I think I can get Feixiao back into the Robin ult before she comes out. Yes, we can. Perfect. Dragon goes out. Robin comes out. I cannot basic here. But I can ult right away. Perfect. Just enough energy. We can just basic here. Get our ult back. Let the dragon go. Ult again. I think this gets us another dragon. Yeah. Let's just full advance the dragon. We're still on the same AV. Alright. We're one action off from this ult, unfortunate. Okay, ult off. Now, he is going to start giving us ults at some point, and unfortunately, this is a piece of RNG that's important because we do need our DPS actually to get those ult charges. If we don't, it can be a difference of as much as 150 AV. Okay, so who gets it? This is a good outcome. The worst is obviously when Robin and Dan get it, but this is definitely playable. So, can we get Feixiao What do I want to focus on? Ult charge or action advance? Actually don't know what's correct here. I guess we might be able to get another ult anyway. So let's just do this. Ashveil has his follow-up. Yeah, okay. Okay, now Ashveil does his ult now that he's used up all of his charges. Okay. No, not quite enough. Dragon? Dragon, please? Dragon? Does this... Oh, this doesn't even get Feixiao in. That's fine, I guess. We're ulting with Robin right away anyway. Okay. Alright, so Robin obviously doesn't need the ult from Legus because she's almost constantly at full now, especially with all the AoE coming out for her. Thank God that her ult does not get delayed by the party getting hit. Okay. This is gonna get us another Feixiao ult. So we are going to lose our 0 cycle here, but fortunately, because we got a good ult RNG, the boss is almost dead. He's at 33% now. Sure, get action delayed, Stone Age, back in time. Alright, so Dragon's gonna go. Second Dragon. Can we get Ashveil hit once? No, we can't. No, of course Ashveil doesn't get hit. Alright, so this is over. If Feixiao gets this ult twice, then it's basically GG. Yeah, so now I'm actually going to focus on action advance. We don't need to be super optimal. Yep. Dragon's going to come right back up. Another dragon's gonna come right back up. And so, you know, we're finishing with about 30 AV left. But you know, you can see how getting these correct, let's call it, ult charges matters a lot. Because when you don't get this RNG on her, she's going to not quite hit the benchmark. She's going to miss like as much as 150 AV. In my earlier testing, like she didn't even get full stars, which is kind of disappointing. So she is getting penalized pretty significantly here by the action delay, but at the same time she's not so dominant. I think she really needs her E2 at this point to be dominant and reliable for 3 stars in a way that, you know, we would want her to be. We'll just ult here. Like, she's good at her job, but it's not the best. Let's finish with King Pom Pom. Not the best fight for Feixiao because it's very blast heavy, but there are parts of it that feel single target, so she's sort of okay on this. These guys will stun us if we hit them, so let's not do that. Yeah, let's get our ults like this. And now Dan's ult is going to break the robot. So it's not going to be able to stun us back. Let's give Ash his ult. Move the ult to the Ray. Same idea as before. We want to kill the Ray as soon as possible. And do as much damage to it before its first turn. Otherwise it starts delaying the damage it takes. Alright, so that sets it pretty low. It's going to spawn mini-me's. The mini-me's are going to give us energy, but unfortunately the action delays, and we can't let them do that. So we do have to kill them. Let's give Ash his energy, and then ult. This ult is pretty overkill, but the Ray has to go. Dan gets stunned. That's sort of okay. Okay, Ashveil has a kill here. Feixiao has a kill here. Okay, this is going to give Dan an extra turn in here. So let's do that. Huh, I wonder if we can... Yeah, I guess this gives us an Ashveil turn. Do we use it? Yeah, I think so. No reason to be shy. Unfortunately, it's not enough to finish him. But I think we can just get away with a basic. Yeah. That's not quite enough. Alright. One more. Alright, so this part here is a bit of a burn phase if you want to do it. I would suggest not doing too much damage and saving some resources for what comes after. The reason being that King Pompom is going to take his first turn. He's going to get 2 stacks of 30% damage reduction. How do we get rid of it? Generating elation. How do we generate elation as a non-elation team? So the first thing we can do is this cute pom-pom that we have. This generates 5 elation. And the second way is by killing these enemy pom-poms. So that also generates 5 elation each time. And we have to get to 20 to remove 1 stack. So that's 10. Let's just do an ult here. Okay, it's gonna spawn 2 more. So this one is gonna bring us to 20, which is gonna give it an extra turn. Yeah? So now that we got this extra turn, we move the bait over again, and we Feixiao ult again to get her back in the cycle. And let's just kill this thing so it doesn't action delay us or anything like that. Okay, Robin ult. think we can get a Robin ult right after this, but realistically, I think I actually... Yeah, maybe it's fine. This is going to be mostly an energy generating step. Yep, that's fine. So our pom-pom takes its turn. And now that all the damage reduction is out of the way, we start going turbo on this enemy boss. It's gonna get another ult. Now we have to be careful. I have completely lost track of how much punchline we have at this point. Okay. So I'm just gonna move. I'm gonna move this over, I think. Start generating punchline for the next. Okay. This is probably gonna give us ults. Feixiao keeps getting delayed, it's so annoying. Okay. Ult again. Okay, ours takes a turn. And now that we have the full armor reduction, we can start going turbo. Unfortunately, as you see, we're gonna miss the 3 stars by a little bit. Yeah, he's gonna knock us out of the phase, and now he's gonna go into his enhanced state. But at this point, you can just focus fire on him. So we lost the 3 stars. I think with a bit more investment, you probably can do more damage here. Realistically, I think Feixiao just needs E2 to really get the 3-star. Which you may not be necessarily looking to hit. You know, some people are just happy with the 1-star that gets them the resin. And that's actually pretty good for this character. It's plenty. Okay. Yeah, so we're gonna finish this before the next cycle. Robin can basic here. Yeah. So single target fights, pretty good. I mean, we missed the 3 stars by about 53 AV. It's not bad. Consider there's like ways to improve this team. So where does this leave Feixiao? If you didn't pull Cypher, Ashveil is a great upgrade for her. The problem is, does it matter? She's a good single target DPS in a meta that has almost never cared about single target damage. I mean, let's take a look. Hule is good for her. This is the boss that she released with. Lygus, as we saw, is pretty good for her as well. Some of the older bosses, like Aventurine, is okay. Sam is actually kind of bad because Sam's toughness stays locked for so long so she can't break him. But with more recent enemies, the Lance of Fury is a bad matchup. Pollux is a bad matchup. The Iker is a bad matchup. The Mirror matchup is a bad matchup. Sparksy is a bad matchup. The Bug Sam is probably okay with a lot of investment. But investing in her feels like an evolutionary dead end because E2 Feixiao will be good against some stages, but she won't be good against every stage the way E2 Firefly or E2 Castoris or E2 Finon are good against everything. So I have pulls left over and I'm looking at this Ashveil banner and honestly I don't know if I keep pulling for this team or if I just leave it where it is. I will say that this team is a lot of fun to play. Even though Dot is better overall in my opinion, keeping track of energy and ult charges and turn order with the follow-up team does require, in my opinion, a lot of skill, and I do enjoy playing it a lot. Even if every stage now takes like 10 minutes to do because all of the individual animations. I do think that Feixiao needs E2 to dominate now. So given my free-to-play limited economy, I'm going to have to hold off on pulling anything until I see the banner in 3.2. And if she is getting a rerun, then I will try to get her E2. But if she's not getting a rerun, then I think the clock is ticking again for this team to go back on the bench. We'll see what happens. Subscribe and like, join the Discord. I'll see you in the next one.